Hi guys, welcome to Exam Debug. I'm Chris McKenna, and today we're going to be continuing our Python course, and we're going to be looking at the if statement. So I've opened Python already. You should hopefully be okay with that. And let me save my file before we do anything. We'll call it Python if. Now, if statements are a way for us to make choices and decisions, and they're one of the most basic parts, but one of the most vital things that you can learn to use in programming. And it works on the idea of you can have true or false. So you ask a question, and the result is either going to be true or the result is going to be false. And based on that, something is going to happen. So let's make a password idea. Okay, so again, this is very, very simple. This wouldn't be a real password system, but we're going to make a simple password system. So I'm going to say password, and I'm going to say equals input. What's the password? Okay, and that's going to ask the user to tell me the password. Now, for an if, what I have to type is, of course, if followed by the question. So I'm going to say if password, which is my variable here, equals. Now, here's the weird thing. This equals means make this the same as this, or make this the result of this. So in order to distinguish it, we have to have a second equals. And this equals means compare. Check. Is it the same as? This one is make it the same as. This one's a question. Is it the same as? So if password equals, let's say my password is going to be something very bad, which you should never do for a password. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm going to do something. So the result of this can either be true or it can be false. So if this is true, then colon. Make sure you get the colon in the end. It's very easy to forget this colon. Then do something. Now, this is where Python's a little bit different from other languages, and it can be a bit tricky. So for something to be inside of this, if it has a colon, something to be inside of it, it must have the indentation. So if I put it here, for example, if I say, let me do it the right way first. So it should be print sorry, there we go. Access granted. Need new keyboard. Okay, so if the password equals this, it's going to print access granted. F5. So what's the password? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, password is going to equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so they should match, and hopefully access has been granted. Yay, successful. If I put in something else, F5, what's the password? Nothing happens. Okay, which is what we want, because this if would be false, which means we would not do what's inside of here. Now, just to be clear, you can have many things inside of it. You can have as many lines of code. You can have hundreds of lines of code. Access granted, print, welcome to the system, my master and overlord. There we go. Sorry, I still have this keyboard problem. There we go. Okay, so all of this is inside of that. Now if I press F5, what's the password? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. it's going to say this. Now, here's the crucial thing. If it's not inside, and goodbye. If it's not inside the if, i.e. if there is no indentation, that means it is outside of the if. If it's not inside, then it's outside, of course. So what would happen, or what will happen, is it's going to get the password, and it's going to compare. If the password is correct, it will say this and this. And then it will say goodbye. If the password is wrong, it will ignore this, but it will still do this part here. So let's see. What's the password? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it does all three because the if was true and these are inside the if. The other way around, it just says goodbye straight away. Okay, so that's how this if is working. Now, be careful, because if you do put something here, you can't have an if that does nothing. Yeah, you must always have something inside of it, or you're going to get this expected and indented block. So it's saying you've got to put something inside of me, otherwise I know working. Okay. So that works okay. Oh yeah, if you want to cancel a program, you can press Control-C to stop it running if you want to stop. So we've got the if. Now, what about if there was another option? Or what about, we want to tell if they say anything except 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, what we can do in that situation is we can use an else. Now notice else has no question. It is without a question. So what this means, if this is true, do this. If this is false, if this is false, do this. So I'm going to say print access denied. Access denied. So let's run it and see. So what's the password? 1, 2, 3. Access denied. If I do it the other way, it's going to work. Okay, you've seen that already. So this, anything except this, it will do this. Hopefully that's okay so far. Now we can have more than one option inside of our if. For example, I could say if the password equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or the password. Now you have to say the full variable, otherwise you can't just say or the other option. You've got to write it out in full. Or password equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So if it's this or this, do this. Otherwise, do this. And you can have as many ors after that as you like. 5. What's the password? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And we can still get into our system. Last thing we're going to have a look at today is, well, what if we had more than one option? What if we had like different levels of security? So this is for the Grandmaster has these two passwords. But what if there was a normal person that had a different has a different password, and it will still do something, otherwise access is denied. So the third option that we can add in here is Elif. Elif. And again, with this one, we've got to ask a question, otherwise it won't work. Password equals 111. And again, colon, and hit enter, and you see it automatically puts me on that new line. That's very important. Print Hello. Your life form. You now have access. Okay, so F5. So this time I'm going to put in the password 111. Now it's going to check this first. Is it this or this? No, it's not. Then it will check this. Is it this? Yes, it is. Otherwise, it will do this. And now the good thing about the Elif is you can put as many as you like, one after the other, inside of it. So you can build up quite complex questions. 1, 1, 2. And you can do it that way. You can have hundreds and hundreds of Elifs if you so wanted. There was something else I thought I had to cover. Okay, so maybe you guys can try this out for yourself. Maybe try making your own program and have it do something. For example, if the name is, you could do it with the Avengers, you know. If the name is Hulk, then say something specifically to the Hulk. If the name is Hawkeye, then it can say something specific to Hawkeye after that. Try and have it doesn't have to be the Avengers, it can be anything you're interested in. Try and make a program that's going to ask for something, and depending on the result, it's going to do something different. One last thing I'd like to say, just to be sure that you're not lost. If I started with Elif and not an F, we would have a problem. If I put my Elif after here, we would also have a problem. So you should always follow the structure if, Elif, else. Now, Elif and else are optional, but you always start with an if, and then you follow it with the Elifs, optional, and finish with an else. Again, it's optional to finish there. Last little thing I'd like to say, a few people wonder, well, why don't I just do it like this? Okay, we can leave the else for now, but if password equals this or this, if password equals this, or if password equals this. Now this will work to a large extent. The else we would have to fix, but this part would work. If the answer, if we did this, and we said 111, we would get a result. So this is correct, but long term it's bad for us, because what happens here is if it's this, then it will still carry on to the next question. So it will say, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yes, it is. Say this. And then it will compare again. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? No, it's not. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? No, it's not. And this is a lot of time wasting. So the advantage of the Elif is, if password equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh yes it is, it will then skip all of the other options. And that's really good for us because it saves us a lot of processing time. For us, you know, we're making small programs, it's not a big deal, but once you get into more complex programs, you know, you're making Assassin's Creed or you're making something else, you want it to run fast and effectively. So it's better to use Elifs because it means it will compare. As soon as it finds it, then it will stop comparing. Whereas if you did if, it would be compare, found it, I'm still going to compare, which would waste a lot of time. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope that was useful. Send me any questions or comments, and please subscribe.